Hi guys, quick tutorial on our shampoo twist project mockups. I'm just going to work on the shampoo one to start. So I did a couple things so the video wouldn't be too long. So I did already create a mask around my bottle. You will find in the path, there is already a path for the bottle. It does not include the top of it. It's somewhere over here, I believe. So you'll just need to slide it over and just get it kind of right bang on there. So I did mask out the background of the original JPEG I provided you guys, and I did add a white background as well because I have a white label and it's just easier to see with a colored background. So here's my label that I quickly mocked up. It is a white label, so I did go ahead and add a white box around there, so please do so if that's your intention for your project. So I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go ahead and paste as a smart object. It's always good to paste a smart object because if you need to scale up or scale down, or sorry, mostly if you need to scale up, your resolution just stays as is. I'm just going to create a new folder called mockup. I'm going to call this original. And I'm going to slide that in there. I also have a couple guides here, so I have a guide on either side of the bottle so I can properly place my label, and I do have one that's just sitting in the approximate center point we'll use later. So turning that back on, I'm just going to grab my my smart object label. I'm just going to go ahead and scale that down to approximately what the size I intended for it to be. All right, pressing OK. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate that now. So I do want to just isolate just this section of the bottle. I don't want to use this whole label because when I go ahead and make my adjustments in my transform, I just want to make sure it's using this, not the whole label. So I'm going to just command click on my mask, or you can use your path as well by command and clicking, and I'll mask that out. So if I go ahead and transform this label, it's going to pick up that whole piece. So again, I just want to isolate this. So I'm just going to right click, rasterize, and then I'm going to right click and just apply. So now when I transform, I'm just transforming that label. It's going to go ahead and zoom in now, keeping it on my transform. So Command T or edit transform. I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to click warp. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to turn those guys back on. So using that center point in and around there, turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and just trying to keep that line nice and steady, and I'm just going to slide that up a little bit. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to go ahead and slide that down. Being careful you don't slide back and forth, as you'll get something like that happening. Bringing that down. You can use a guide if you'd like to move these, but just giving a little bit of a curve to those. Again, let's zoom in so we can make sure we get nice and close to the edge. And then I'm going to just ever so slightly move these ones up. Whoops. Oh. Let's do that again. Let's do it around here. And moving these guys down. Making sure I don't bump that in too much. So just kind of a visual. So you can also utilize these to move those corners down. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to press enter to kind of apply those changes. So I'm pretty happy with how the curve is looking on this. What I'd like to do now is add some shadows. So I'm going to add another layer, and we're going to call this shadow. And we can do it two ways. As we did with Help First, we used a gradient. We dragged it right across. Add a multiply to that, and then we just want to apply that gradient to just the label. So again, I'm just going to command click the label. And then I'm just going to mask that out. So again, we're just trying to kind of mimic what's going on the bottle. So that's one way you could do it. Another way that you could do it as well is going ahead and adding another layer. And you could do it by using your brush tool. So just nice and manual. I'm going to use black to start. I'm just going to bring my opacity down. And nice and steady, we're just going to kind of use your bottle here as your guide. I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of the black. And I'm going to add some white. Maybe we want to intensify that. So maybe we add a little bit more as we have. Let's hide that for a moment as we do have a highlight right here. So maybe we add a little bit more white there. And again, now let's take our label mask. Oh, it looks like my curves are a bit off there. And apply it. And from here, if that's obviously quite intense, you can drop your opacity down. And there you have it.